Hi, and welcome to the 2017 Play Therapy Virtual Summit, an online training event designed exclusively for play therapists. And welcome, Amy. But before you talk about Santrade, tell me about why do you love play therapy in general?
My grad program was really good, but it didn't teach us anything about how to work with kids.
There's so many times, and I'm sure so many listeners and watchers can relate, that you're sitting in the play therapy room and you're thinking, what am I doing? And I'm getting, or I'm getting paid to do this?
Our why rarely is, I just want to make more money.
Play therapy is probably the least threatening form of therapy that I can provide to children.
I think play therapy is absolutely the only way to work with children so that we can access their own unconscious processes, their own worries, their mind, their issues.
The opportunity to use play in a therapeutic way is just such a privilege.
I remember hearing that and thinking, oh my gosh, that is what I want to do.
When I went to that conference, I was like, this is it. This is what I've needed. I've watched the kids play and I knew that there was a healing element to what they were doing, but I wanted to know what I could do to help facilitate that.
What advice do you have to new people who are just getting started in play therapy?
You can't give away what you don't have. And so if you're going to be accepting of children in that room, you have to figure out a way to accept yourself. And children are like detectives for inauthenticity. And so I think that being able to be connected to yourself and accepting in particular of yourself as you're trying to learn new skills and as you're ungraceful at what, starting off, just like starting off anything, that acceptance piece is absolutely going to be a key.
I think the honoring process is all about being present for them, validating, accepting their behaviors, really focusing on the child and not their behaviors to begin with. And that's different. And that's different for a lot of clinicians who have been trained in a lot of behavioral methods.
How are we authentic and how are we connected on a level that it's okay. We don't have to be the boss, but we do have to know that we're our kids' biggest cheerleader and we got their back and we believe in them and it's not like a joke.
We are going to pretend, and pretend means that we're going to act like we're somebody that we're really not, and we're going to do something that isn't really happening. We're just pretending. And sometimes kids play like this. They play like they're somebody else. They play like they're doing something else that isn't really what's happening.
Now we're on an airplane, by the way. So he takes the shell and he holds it up in the air and he starts to do airplane with his baby. And he's going, meow, meow, he's making these noises and I'm sitting back there. Now what I always love about this is to not only watch how the parent initiates an activity with the child, but how does that baby respond?
It's a really good way for the kids to remember how loved they are.
All parents just kind of want what's best for their children, and African American parents are included in that.
It's like there's a string attached to this ball in forming a relationship.
The robot, tightening every muscle, move, let them hold this for a while, let them have fun with it, let them walk around the room. I can't do that right now. So we got the robot and then the scarecrow, flexi, flexi, flexi. A lot of your kids, when they're really doing that, they're going to end up on the floor. It's okay, just tell them to wiggle like the scarecrow, wiggle like the scarecrow.
Integrative attachment-informed cognitive behavioral play therapy.
In a quarter of a second, the brain is assessing, is this place safe or not safe?
I call it the Jack-in-the-Box technique. And I call it that because it's one of those things that it works every time, but you're always kind of surprised, startled when it does, kind of like the Jack-in-the-Box. You're it's coming, but when it does, you're like, ah!
I want to say that I'm afraid, but I don't think I'm allowed to say it. At which point, he literally, and this is not an exaggeration, he stands up, he looks at me and he goes, I know what to do when I'm afraid. And I said, oh yeah, what do you do? He goes, watch.
first of all, don't be afraid of it.
Just keep doing it.
I think the most important thing is the connection.
Keep that spark alive, because what you find is the more you find out and the more you think you know, the more you realize you have no idea.
If you don't know what else to do, treat the child with respect and dignity. And the family, you're probably working with the family as well. Treat them with respect and dignity, and you'll be surprised how far that goes.